This is home for us right now.
Can you show us inside, if you don't mind?
Let me grab my dog first, because she'll be a little... Hi, Mama. Come here. Yeah, I know. Here. I sleep over there in the passenger seat. Shush. I sleep over there in the passenger seat at night. I put it down a little bit. Can't put it down all the way. And my daughter lays down here in the back seat to sleep. I try to keep it as clean as I can, but it's hard sometimes. Especially when you don't have some of the stuff that you need. But yeah, this is home. This is where we live. My name is Summer. I'm 45 years old. I am currently living in a four-door Honda Sonata with my daughters and my son-in-law and our ESA dog.
It's been about 7 months since Summer and her family lived in this car. She had to leave the apartment, which was literally falling apart.
And the landlord raised the rent, and I couldn't afford a lawyer, so he won the case, even though there was bats flying around and mice and everything else. So now me and my kids have been homeless in the car since September 1st.
770,000 people were homeless in the United States last year, and a lot of them became homeless because they cannot afford their rents. When households pay more than 30% of their income to their rents, we say they're under the rent burden. That percentage is 52% in New York City, which is actually lower than that of Bridgeport, 62%.
To me, is those are the people that are next in line to be our homeless. And our homeless, just the average cost of keeping someone out of a homeless situation is greater than the median income in the city. So if you can figure out a way to keep them in a home rather than homeless, you're going to be in a hell of a lot better situation as a country and a state and a city.
Summer says she's lucky to have her own vehicle to at least stay out of rain, but that doesn't mean she's out of the woods.
We sleep by seaside at night, and I stay up late to make sure nobody messes with us or tries to hurt us or anything. We're lucky to shower, to find places to shower every once in a while, sometimes once every 2 weeks. Eating, there's food pantries or places to go, but sometimes we're not able to make it. Yeah, it's hard. I have a lot of health conditions. I got breast cancer at 37 and lupus and Lyme. I got a tumor on my liver. I got beginning stages of emphysema in my lungs, and a bunch of other things as well.
Summer's health conditions have gotten worse. It's difficult for someone without a physical address to see a doctor and get monthly checkups. But even after she became homeless, Summer always taught her kids to help others.
And I've always raised my children to love no matter what. Be kind. Stick up for the people who get bullied. And if you can help, help. And that's how I've always been with my kids.
But it was her oldest daughter who really needed help. It was this January when she suddenly died because of the after effects of the heart surgery. She would have survived if she went to see a doctor, but Summer could not afford it.
She was an amazing daughter with a beautiful soul. The black rosary right there is my daughter's. That's living with me in the car. And this one right here, the green one with the white cross, is my daughter's rosary. It was in her hand when she passed away. And I have her ashes and her rosary in my car, and it kills me every day that I don't have a proper place to have her ashes. Like, it breaks my heart.
Do you have any last words to your daughter?
To my daughter, I love her so much. And I'm proud of the woman that she was and her free spirit and her kind soul.
Life goes on, and she's been desperately looking for a new place with her children. But as struggling has been her life, the application process has been like that too.
I applied anytime a new Section 8 or housing opens. I go and I apply no matter what city in Connecticut it's in. I don't care. My kids don't care what city we live in. They said there's nothing there. And the guy said, well, ma'am, you're not the right color.
He said, quote, "Ma'am, you're not the right color."
You're not the right color. And I said, what do you mean I'm not the right color? He goes, you're just not the right color. People of other races get it before you do. So I called the mayor. I called the governor. I called the senator's office, and they kind of like give me the runaround. But I called them every week. But I haven't gotten a response back from that either.
We have the lowest, tied with Rhode Island, number of building permits being pulled every year for housing. And I know why, because it's difficult to build in Connecticut. You don't have to fight, wetlands people, salamanders. You don't have to worry about, all the things that our New Englanders, people in Connecticut bring up to oppose the project. Wildlife, goes on and on.
Under the state law called 8-30G, any cities or towns where less than 10% of their housing units are affordable must approve affordable housing projects. All the cities and towns around Bridgeport fail to meet this requirement. After driving for about 10 minutes from Bridgeport, I arrived at the town of Stratford, where only 6% of its housing units are affordable. Last December, 2 real estate developers petitioned the town to approve their plan to build apartment buildings with affordable units, where people like Summer can come and live their lives. But as soon as they submitted their plan to the zoning commissions, it faced a huge backlash.
I have nothing further, Mr. Chairman. Great. Okay, now I'm going to open this up for comments. I will start with anybody who is opposed to this project.
When is it all going to stop? I pay a lot of money in taxes and sewers and everything on car taxes, and now I got to see a building behind my house that's not even part of a neighborhood with nothing but single-family homes all over the place. So I throw an apartment building in here now? When is this nonsense going to stop? Come on!
It would be, if I'm not mistaken, 5 stories high with the garage underneath, amongst single-family homes. So I don't know where all of you live, but that would really kill a lot of views.
Why are you opposed to this proposal?
Why are we opposed to it?
Yeah, why?
Because it doesn't fit into the environment where we are.
I went to the neighborhood and asked the people living there why they're opposed to this project.
It's a very busy street as it is already. If you've got a housing project going in across the street or a ways to get in and out of a housing project across the street, it's going to cause even more traffic. It's going to be even harder for my family and myself to get in and out of our driveway.
I built a house over here. It was worth $500. After they're finished, I'm lucky if I get 3. Because my value is going down, not just mine, but everybody else in the area.
None of us object to affordable housing. We know Stratford needs more affordable housing, but it needs to be in an appropriate place. If somebody doesn't have a car, there's no public transportation anywhere near these projects on Roanoke Lane. You'd have to walk a mile to get to the bus stop. So it's, as far as it's near highways if you got cars, but there's so many things that would affect safety and health.
People in this neighborhood is against this proposed apartment building. But how would they know if this building could pose a great threat, even if the final floor plan hasn't come out yet?
So the towns are learning how to defend these. In the beginning, they weren't very good at it, and then they've read a lot of decisions from the courts, so they're trying their best to come up with safety problems or health problems. People have cars nowadays, and as long as it has the parking, that's kind of the most important thing in my mind. I think a lot of people, I see it all the time, are kind of afraid of the unknown. Once that thing is built and occupied, the cars that go in and out, it's like a trickle. I'm not exaggerating, because not everyone any longer gets up and all goes to the same shift at the same time. And then what happens over time, it blends in and you don't even know it's there. But they don't know that. I get that. They don't know that.
They think that if they do the affordable housing that they're going to get drug addicts and problems, and that's not the case with everybody. So them saying they want to come in and they want to build, affordable housing, I don't believe it.
You don't believe it?
I don't believe it. Me, I'm a kind of person now, when it comes to the government, I'll believe it when I see it. I'm hoping alive. Doctors say I won't live past 50. So I'm hoping alive and with my grandchildren and my kids. And I pray in a place, in an apartment, in a home where I can cook again and give my kids home cooking that they wanted. We haven't had Christmas or Thanksgiving or anything, and I used to do all those things. Even with my kids being older, I would still do all those things. So it's the little things, being able to have a bathroom and to shower, or I'd give anything to be able to sleep in a bed. That's where I see myself in 5 years, in a place, if all goes well.
Hopefully that comes true. Thank you so much for sharing all this story.
You're welcome.